Hey guys, Tim here. Today I'm going to be working on my Minnkota 55-pound trolling motor. It didn't want to work this spring, and it's been on my to-do list. I just pulled it apart. I rinsed it out, but there was gunk all in the motor housing and rust. And if I just take this rag in there, you could see the rust and stuff that was in there. But I just gave it a thorough rinse. This is the housing, has the magnets in there for your motor. But I mean, there's just chunky rust. Water somehow got in there. I mean, I leave this out in my boat all summer long, but it worked fine all last year as far as I remember. And then when I want to go use it this year, no luck. So stored it in the shed over winter, so that's one thing. But we'll flip this rag around. I got an old sock as a rag. You use it with your hand. And you can use it inside and out. And then we'll let this thing air dry or whatever tonight. Even though it's not the best, we'll bring it in the house. Here's probably the prime example. Can you see that? Look at all that gunk. I mean, that is just water got in there some way, shape, or form, and I don't know if it's their seals back here, because this part does not just always sit in the water. I prop it out of the water. I don't know, as it comes in through the head somehow and down the shaft, and that's how I knew there was water in it. Is I took it all the way out to the boat, tested it, the electronics in the power head worked, and showed that the battery is fully charged, but there was no thrust. So I carried it up to the garage here, and when I carried it up, I had stood it on end to look at the prop end of it, and rusty water came out. So I knew there was gonna be some no good stuff coming. And maybe it's these O-rings that seal here. There's an O-ring here, an O-ring there, everywhere an O-ring. I'll give you a little close-up. We're losing light here, but look at all that moisture and rust in there. I mean, that's just insane. Shouldn't have that. Alright, so the other thing is, I pulled the winding out here, and my best guess is that this is supposed to be shiny. That's the contact point, and it's all corroded, and I think that's the majority of why it's not spinning in there. So I'll clean this contact point up. I'll clean the contact point where it's supposed to be touching up, let it air dry. We'll put it back together. Alright, so I let it dry overnight. You can see where I dumped it out. You see all that rust in there? And it was alright. It kind of dried up pretty good, but I used my my heat gun and finished drying it off in there. You can probably see this one a little better if it focuses. There you go. You can see how it got rusty in there. So there was some water. But we'll put it back together and see if... Let's check these. There's still lots of... here, I'll get you a better view. There's still lots of brush life left in this. I mean, it was only used 1 year and not used that often. So... focus. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's still lots of brush life. The springs they feel alright. This one might need just a little bit more love. You can see it was getting some corrosion on there. But we'll put it back together, see if it works. And then what I'll do is I'll, as long as it all works, I'll order a new seal kit. And you can get all the seals and everything, and it's less than $30 shipped, since the motor's about 300 bucks. That's we'll call that a win, I guess. But the downside is I don't know why or how the water's getting into this. So, okay, let's put it all back together and see if it works. Alright, I tested it off camera, but I do know it works, so here you go. And this way. So all the speeds work. So cleaning those contacts up inside helped. One thing I suggest is don't be like me and drop the inner part, the part that has all the windings on it of the motor, the shaft. It fell off my table here, hit the concrete right at the edge, and whatever. So now I'm not getting the full magnet contact on that one side. I don't know how much that's going to matter. If I get this out on the water and it doesn't work right, then I guess I'll order that inner part. A seal kit online ranged from $26 to $30 shipped to the house. So I will order one of them and put some new seals in this, because you get the backs. I think there's a seal in here. You get the or not right here, but in this little cap. There's a center seal. There's two little O-rings for the two long bolts that hold this all together, and then there's a big seal and a big seal. So it's good to replace that stuff, I'd imagine, once you take it apart. And mine was leaking, I guess. I don't know, or somehow it's leaking off the top. I'm not sure, but alright, I hope this inspires somebody to go out there and take apart their Minnkota or whatever if they're having problems, because the parts are a lot cheaper than going and buying a new one. And anybody with a wrench set can get this accomplished. So we'll catch you next week.